Right, hopefully you can see and hear me all right. So yeah, hopefully this will be the last day of the messy backgrounds. What I've got coming today is behind me there's a big plastic, well you can't see that one because it's behind a chair very well. There's one of those big 86-litre boxes, whatever it is. I've got 2 more of those coming, and I think it's a 64-litre box. And I'm hoping with those 3 boxes, that'll be enough to get nearly everything that's still sort of, cluttering the area loosely, into stuff, and then the stuff that's remaining can sit quite neatly on top rather than it looking, like boxes full of stuff. That would be quite good, because I know it's obviously annoying for a lot of people to see the background like that, especially if I guess you're a bit OCD or whatever, because it does annoy me being messy. It's just, there's only so much space you can put stuff in. So, yeah, that will be the good thing, is they're scheduled for delivery between about 2 and 3 p.m. today. I've got an hour time slot, and then I can just start really getting stuff, sorted. So hello to everybody. And yeah, a big thank you as well to the people the other day who donated and said, buy more storage boxes. So that's what I'll be doing. So it means I can break down this one as well. Because the problem is the cardboard ones, when you end up getting a big cardboard box from a delivery, they end up breaking up a lot after a while, because obviously they're just not designed to last with stuff in them for ages. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos, Eugene. Cheers. But yeah, I'm all right, thank you. So I'm streaming at this time today because I've got one of those days today where I'll have stuff going on all afternoon, sort of evening at various times. So I don't want to sort of commit to doing a stream later on. Yeah, it's real night vision. It's not exactly hard to get night vision if you want to pay for it, Bam Parkour. Right, Richard. So yeah, I've got the UV light set up a bit better today. I've got the ceiling light back on the regular ceiling light bulb, so obviously it doesn't appear totally blue, but obviously it's still making stuff fluoresce in the background by having a UV light there. Are you using Chrome, Marty McFly? Because I have to use Opera now when I stream, because Chrome's just really broken on YouTube at the moment. You need to get proper crossbow scopes for crossbows, if that makes sense, because if you put a rifle scope on a crossbow, they don't really align properly. No, I'm in the UK, Sam, so there aren't any riots over here or anything. As in Parkers, as in coats, I've got a couple. But yeah, so what most of my day is going to be today is just another tidying day. So yeah, as soon as the boxes come, I can just start getting loads of stuff, put more neatly away, which will be good. But I've already started getting weird comments this stream. I'm just going to warn people right now. Look, I'm getting quite fed up with some of the people that end up watching my videos. So if you get blocked, you get fucking blocked, and I give my mods mission to do that. But all right, Mike, Richard, Peach, and everybody. But yeah, so that will be what most of my day today is going to be. Sorting out the background. I've got a bag over there. I think it's the bag over there. That's the one for loads of loose screws. So what I can do with that one at least is put a load of the other sort of bits where I've dismantled stuff there. Then I'll try and make the background more level, where I'll mostly try and keep radiation instruments or sort of gas mask type stuff in the background there. It would be impossible to stream something like that shit on fire, because I'd be out of frame for nearly all of it, wouldn't I? Because I'd basically be getting a box, loading stuff into it as neatly as possible, then putting the box away in another room. I'm glad you like the videos. My most expensive gas mask, it depends. Do you mean what it cost me or what in theory it should cost? Because that's, again, two different things. Like, there's lots of masks that collectors might pay a lot for, but they're not really worth much in themselves. As I said, you have to get a proper crossbow scope. I can't really advise you more than that other than buy a crossbow scope from a crossbow manufacturer. Right, for the people asking questions, do you have this, do you have that, just look at my videos. Sorry if I already sound like I'm in a mood today, but it's just, a lot of these streams recently have just been people asking really obvious questions. So I'm going to try and keep it as a sort of thing, but yeah, that's... Oh dear, Mike, thanks for that. That's pleasant to know. But yeah. I think people queuing up in like stupid ways for lots of things as they reopen is really stupid, I know what you mean by it's a nice mess, but I still don't like the fact it's messy. It's more just because if I want something, I never know where it is when it's like this. What I end up doing is, when I put stuff in storage boxes, I'll put all of a certain type of thing together in a storage box. So like that storage box over there, you can't really see the one that's down, like the bottom there. That is one for Geiger counters. So basically, it's everything in that storage box is Geiger counters or ionization chambers. You need a particle filter for tear gas. I mean, vapor filters might stop some of it, but that's not what they're designed to do. There you go. Richard's answered your question or given you a suggestion on the crossbow scope thing. Yeah, but sadly, shed on fire, you'd need space for a shipping container, wouldn't you? And you can't really, unfortunately, just put shipping containers wherever you want them, as tempting as that might be. Yeah, P100 P3 is a particle filter. Massive storage boxes, Ghost Jesus. So basically, like some of the plastic ones I have behind me, you can't really see. Because I've cleared some room in some of the other places in the house, that are more like just storage rooms. A lot of stuff can go in there, sort of, neatly as possible, so it's actually more space efficient. Go in those storage boxes, and then go in like towers of storage boxes. All right, 11HHH30. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream. Hello, Apollo Rogers. Somebody's spamming the chat, so I'm getting rid of them. As I've already said, I'm not in the mood today for people just spamming the chat, with random shit. You can if you want to, Sam the Gas Mask Man, but if you're not wearing it, it's not really a problem. All right, for the people who don't know this, I don't like to talk about politics on non-politics streams, so it's probably not a good idea to keep bringing up politics on this stream. If you're interested in talking about some of the stuff to do with the protests and riots, you should have done it on the stream the other day. But that's just all I'm going to say. Alex says there's only one thing you can spam, and that's the like button. Exactly, thank you. But yeah, the boxes are coming today, Alex. So once I finish streaming, if they're in the delivery slot they're meant to be in, that will all be good. I can get lots of this stuff really tidily put away. The rest of it more neatly organized in the background. Yeah, Sam, that's a good way of storing them if that's what you've got available. I don't actually know Ghost Jesus over here, in all honesty. I think it would depend on what part of the country it's in. No, there's no specific topic for this one, Shed on Fire. It's just I've already been spammed with lots of things like, where do you buy your gas masks? You know, where although some people might be completely new to the channel and don't know the answers to stuff like that, I get the very much the impression a lot of people are asking it to be dicks today. Maybe it's just like the mood I'm in, although I'm actually in quite a good mood. It's just, you know, one of those things of extremely haunted hoarders stream. And that's all right, Joshua. I know because you've come on these before, you're not doing it on purposely, but it's just the problem is a lot of other people keep doing it. No no Inferno, because the one I've bought is probably an obsolete model, but basically it tells you exactly what to look for. The thing is, I could go on eBay right now and tell you what the model is that I'm on about, or, you know, a similar thing. But the whole point was, I was saying in the video, it's like one of these. You need to get the one that's relevant for the type of batteries you used. Right, the link's too long, I can't post it. Right, I'm going to try and cut the link down and see if it'll work. Hang on. Actually, that won't let me. Yeah, that's the main thing, Mike. It's because I don't want anything to get damaged or like lost, or you know what I mean. It's saying the main issue is obviously for people who aren't in the UK. I don't think they realise we've got quite small houses. You know, especially I've seen that like compared to America. I think a house is like 1/3 of the size in terms of like, you know, rooms and storage space. So yeah, if you know, we had a typical house where you could have like a big garage in a garage and have loads of stock shelves and that, I'd have no issue storing everything. The issue is in the UK, that's not the case. It could be Ghost Jesus, but that's going down again now. But I'm actually quite happy it is, because the problem was the other day we had a stream that had like 180 people on at one point, and that's where it gets quite annoying, because it's just, you know. Right, anyway, let me try and sort out this Maglite thing for the person who asked. See if I can actually get it as a short link, you know, not a stupidly long link. All right, here we go. I can link directly to the sellers page. If you look on that sellers page, they've got different ones in there. You have to get the one that corresponds to the voltage of how many batteries you've got. Yeah, that means it was stored properly, Sam the Gas Moss Man. Lots of old filters won't be after this many years. But yeah, if you have an old filter and you open it and it hisses when you open it, it means it's still airtight after all those years. Yeah, bong masks are rip-offs of the 4A1 Benji, and also the Chinese do a rip-off of the 4A1 now. I don't know what its name is. Maybe Hype, if he's ever on, will actually be able to know like what, you know, factory makes it under what designation. But I know there's a Chinese rip-off of the 4A1 as well. No, I've never used anything like that shit on fire. I've used strobe torches, but I've never used an IR strobe. I've got Hype sent me like an IR flashlight thing, a couple of like IR flashlight things, and they're interesting, but I've never used like an IR marker strobe thing. But yeah, so as I said, for the people joining, it's going to be a bit weird though, isn't it, when this background actually ends up looking quite neat after a while of it, people, I think, being used to it being so messy, but, you know. What really surprised me, actually, because this might surprise other people, when I tidied a load of stuff up recently, helmets were the ones that were some of the most space-efficient things possible, and I wouldn't have thought that was the case, but I was surprised just how many helmets, if you know, you stack them in sort of size order, you can fit in a container box. You know, where if you get smallest to biggest, put them in a pile, then do that. You know, I managed to get probably like 15 helmets in one container last time, which really surprised me. No, the background wall won't change. It's just all the mess behind me there is going to be a lot more neatly organized. You know, some of it will be in other rooms. And what it should mean is like gas masks people want to see, you know, I can have available more easily. And then, you know, the stuff nobody really cares about, but it's just in here because I've got nowhere else to put it. Let me move, because, for example, down there, which you can't see from, you know, where you are, but there's a storage box there, and that's another one that's not got all that much in it, but it's, you know, got stuff in it kind of thing. And it's one of those ones where I'd like to get a few of the things that are in it, put them more neatly in another box, and then, again, that's a lot more space cleared. Problem is, half the people say they like it, half the people say they don't, and I do obviously want to tidy it just because it is quite good when you get into the mood of, tidying a lot of stuff. It's because, like I said, you can't tell it from in this room, but in other rooms of the house, we have been really tidying stuff up recently, when you're stuck at home and nothing to do due to all the corona stuff. So that's like one of the big differences. Oh, if people hadn't noticed, the katana's gone off the wall there, because what I want to do is when the DP3 arrives, I want to put it in that gap there, a bit like how the that one's there. I want to probably put the DP3 there in a similar sort of way. So that's going to be the challenge, I think. But yeah, the main thing I think is going to be getting what's in this box into another storage container, and then getting a box to fit in there neatly, because that should happen. I think that one will still fit under that shelf there. Yeah, it will. And it'll be a case of moving some of the body armors that are there and like the satchel bags. Move those out the way. Yeah, I'm sort of coming up with a mental plan already of what I'm doing. No, as I've said before, I've not got any old webbing sets and I've not got much interest in it. It gets asked a lot, So it's one of those things where I end up just sort of being like, no, I'm not the channel to ask about webbing. Sunday, Sebastian. Yeah, the problem is I assume you're using Chrome and it's broken at the moment, as I've said over and over. It's why I have to stream via Opera at the moment. Right, the Call of Duty games I've played, Tyler. I have played World at War, but the original Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, but I didn't play much of that because I thought it was a bit crap. Obviously, Call of Duty 4 was very good. Modern Warfare. Played World at War. Black Ops I liked, and then a few of the other sort of sequels to other ones were meh, And I lost interest years ago in the franchise, but because it looks cool. You don't need to, Ro, because as I've shown in the video, the mask itself is 40mm with adapters already in it. Right, before the chat gets too distracted by lots of video game questions, I am going to say Command & Conquer Remaster comes out tomorrow. Guess what I'll be playing? What, a Command & Conquer Remaster or something else, Gash Goblin? Yeah, like I said, most of my day today is going to be a tidying day, which is why I'm streaming now, so I can get a stream done, and then won't get distracted later on and can just get stuff done. If you're on Twitch tonight, Mike, I can definitely watch you on Twitch. It's just, from sort of, 3 to 9 p.m, I'm going to spend a lot of the day, cleaning, then taking breaks from cleaning, then cleaning again. Yeah, I like Bannerlord. Although at the moment I'm waiting for a lot of the patches to keep coming out, just so it's, when I end up playing it's a bit more stable. Because, yeah, I played quite a bit of Bannerlord the first few days it was out, and obviously as they were releasing daily patches, I thought I'll wait for a bit, Right, I'll definitely be on then, Mike. The worst gas mask, in my opinion, is that pewter Chinese one where the straps ping off. Right, actually, here's a question for people with the background. Once I've got a lot of this stuff stored, do you want a couple of masks to be visible, things like the CT12 that people ask me about a lot, to be like visible on their sort of, flush where I can fit them in and they'll be neat? Would people want that in the background? I'm just trying to think, because obviously I'm going to have to be sorting most of this out today. So most people saying yes. Well, it's not going to be on a shelf. It's going to be on top of these storage boxes, but you're going to see it, obviously, quite easily. Essentially, it would work like having big shelves. But the problem is with this room is, although I have got some stuff on the wall over there, this wall is not... It's like weak plasterboard stuff there, so you can't really put much weight on it. Like the shelves there, where I've got a couple of MD3s, like the Mark II Radiacs, that's as like much weight as I've ever risked putting on that wall. Because I've had things before, where you get a bit of plaster just kind of falls out if you put too much weight on the wall. Right, okay then. Yeah, what I will do is I'll definitely, like some people said, like Ghost Jesus said, I'll take a picture, I think, in a minute when I end the stream, and then I'll take a picture when it's all done just to prove that it will look a lot neater. Right, we were on about freestanding shelves the other day. The issue is, in our house, there's not enough floor space in most of the rooms to do it. We were looking at one of the other rooms the other day, and my dad was basically saying, he said, I reckon if we tidied this bit of the room up, we could get a freestanding shelf in there. And then, a lot of this stuff could go back on the shelf and we'd have a lot more room. But that's like something that potentially might be happening, when tidying another room. But in this room, there's not space for freestanding shelves to go there. That's good if you quit smoking Shed on Fire. How many years or whatever had you been smoking prior to quitting? I'm glad you enjoy the stuff and all, but it's always nice when people say, nice stuff like that rather than, oh, I think you're a twat or whatever, but But yeah, so that's what it's going to be, I reckon. A couple of helmets and gas masks on top of it. For the most other part, it'll look quite minimalistic, so if I want to get into a box, there's not too much stuff on it. I think you're missing the point. If you're on about the freestanding shelves, how can I put those in if there's no room for them in the first place? You can say declutter, but you can't physically change the shape of your house, can you? Oh, I've never collected airsoft stuff, if you mean in the sense of like airsoft gear. As I said, I would have got a few airsoft, like realistic imitation firearms if I had a Yukara, and I don't. Out of the modern ones, camper or historic ones? We do have a mannequin Briggs in the other room. If you've never seen it in the video, there's an East German mannequin that sits in a room out there. So if somebody, was sneaking around in the garden, they look through the window, it looks like somebody looking out at them, but it's actually a mannequin dressed up with loads of stuff. Cold War era, the best like Russian or like Slavic mask I'd have said was the Shums SHMS. That's weird. Sam, do you know what it was called? Well, it's what we've been talking about all stream, Robert Rule. So assuming that you've just come in to the stream and aren't, taking a piss, what's happening is I've got a load more storage boxes coming, and then it's going to be stuff that people actually talk about a lot and want to see will be visible. Most of the other stuff is going into different rooms, or just being tidied to the stage, or it'll be in a container and you can't really see it. But yeah, so it's mostly just a load of big storage boxes coming, because I found they are really useful, like these sort of storage boxes. It's just the idea is, you always really need more. Main thing I like these storage boxes, you can put a lot in them, and then you can stack them very neatly on top of each other. But obviously what I want to do is make sure the background isn't too obscured, because I think most people like the fact there's a few posters and like things on shelves in the background. But right, I already know, Robert Rule, what some of that is going to be. Definitely the CT12 is going to have to be in the background, because what is your favourite gas mask? That always gets mentioned. A few of the more delicate masks I don't really want to put in containers, so that therefore they'll be on display just so people can see them. But yeah, I think mostly it's going to be I'll probably keep this mask on display because of how, cool and new it is, and not many people have them. So again, a big thank you to Hype for sending me one, because they're pretty rare outside of China. So I'll probably keep this one on display because it is a cool mask. But for the most part, I think it's just really going to be, tidying stuff for the sake of tidying stuff. The only thing I can say for caring for it, don't leave it outside in bright sunlight. Keep it in a cupboard or whatever. Not where it's damp, not where it's too dry. Maybe use silicone lubricant on the outside of it to, keep the rubber in good condition. It's too much is the answer to that, for all the people saying, how much have you spent? Too much. Oh yeah, like I said, I was lucky because Hype sent me this as a present, because they're very, very hard to get outside of China. I think it's only because obviously he's Chinese that he knows, ways of getting that sort of stuff for people. But like I said, the video on this comes out on Sunday, but I'm definitely going to keep this one in the background visible. There aren't any laws stopping you getting XM28s coming into the UK. I mean, the US ITAR laws prevent the export only because of ignorance, of like people not knowing that, they can't be sent out or whatever. But it's just with the UK, every now and then somebody in the UK has an XM28 for sale, so that's the easiest way of getting them. How do you mean, Stuart, need to rotate the boxes? In what sense? If I rotate them that way, you couldn't fit as many in, because if they're in that direction, they come up to here, and there's a bit of a gap in front where stuff can be stored just in front of them. If they're rotated that way, you couldn't fit much on there at all. I basically do, Steve, but what it's more, it would say like Geiger counters and have a load of Geiger counters in it. I don't do like a complete inventory list of what's in every one, but I know well enough that I know which box to look in to find something easily. Not recently at all, Peach. As we were just saying, for getting blooming off of stuff like that, silicone lubricant's the only thing I've found, and even that doesn't work 100% of the time. There's just stuff like with rubber, as it gets old, and marked. I've never done MRE videos. I don't actually know, British Empire, how rare certain satchels are. The only person I know on here that he's not on this stream at the moment, but comes on YouTube, and does a lot of research into British stuff, is Baroque 4 Days, because he's done like massive amounts of research into the British light anti-gas respirator series. So I guess if you had British mask questions, you'd have to ask him. All right, see you, Sam. Right, there's a lot of people asking questions that just seem completely oblivious to me, as in they've never watched my stuff before if they're asking these sort of questions, so I'm just not going to give them a response. All right, Gabriel? I'm not going to be on too long today just because of the fact that, you know, like I said, I've got stuff coming later on and I need to start getting to work, you know, like tidying stuff. Because what I want to do is start getting some of this stuff ready even before the boxes come, you know, to neatly go away. I've already been over this. I'm not going to keep repeating how I'm going to tidy everything up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know if you more neatly put stuff away, it takes up less space. But no idea anymore, Bloopy Boy. I mean, when I got my CT12, I paid like 30 quid for it. But lots of people want silly money for them, even if you can find them for sale. So I really don't know what I'd advise you. All right, Ian explains, says, a question on an M51 CBB gas mask I got that the flea market has written pencil ORYE. I have no idea to answer you. I don't know what your question was, and I don't know what the answer is either. The arrow type things on British things generally mean like it's like a quality stamp, so it might be a similar thing to that, but that's all I kind of, you know, I'm not too sure. Sorry, Ian, what you were like getting at with what does it mean, you know, which particular marking. All right, see you, Valerie man. All right, Stug. Well, other than surplus ones, you mean, Gabriel? Because, I mean, there are still surplus, like M17 filters out there, but yeah, they're not being made anymore, if that's what you meant. So yeah, Stug, because you've just joined, after the stream ends, I'm, as long as they come today and don't get delayed, I've got loads of storage boxes coming to start finally getting a lot of this looking a lot tidier. So yeah, when they come, that will be good. I'll definitely do a before and after picture, as some people have said, but I'm still getting lots of very strange questions like, oh, where exactly are you going to put everything at the moment? I don't know. As I tidy it, I'll find out. Right, I'll read out British Empire's thing because that was a good comment. He said, the arrow mark is called the crow's foot and is used to mark property of the Ministry of Defence. It can be on anything from cups to master watches. Right, thank you for that. No, probably just a serial number, I imagine, Pope. I don't know. Or who it was issued to, like a soldier's number, I don't know. Are you using Chrome Endless Nameless? Because I've been over this quite a lot of times. Chrome is fucked at the moment for watching streams or trying to stream through it. I have to stream through Opera at the moment. But yeah, if you're trying to watch or stream via Chrome at the moment, it's broken horribly. It's working fine at my end, Brandon, because I'm using Opera, as said. It's that whole thing. As soon as I found out it was Chrome causing the issue, I had no issue using another browser. My favourite helmet's that one, the British Battle Skin Revision Cobra, or whatever stupid name they give it. But the Cobra 2, or whatever its proper name really is. But it's basically the American ACH or ECH, whichever. ACH, is it? The better American one? It's very similar to that. No, why would you come up with an idea like that, Camper? Why would they be illegal over here? And then why would you think they are illegal? It's not to be a dick to you particularly, but I get quite annoyed when people randomly say, "Oh, isn't this illegal in the UK?" and they have no clue what they're talking about. Oh, we've definitely been tidy and stuff. It's just mostly been in other rooms, Bloopy Boy. That's why it doesn't seem evident here. But as I'm saying today, a lot of this stuff is finally going to be shifted to elsewhere, so it will actually look a lot tidier. Yeah, I'm waiting for an actual question. As I said, I'm not going to stream a full hour today anyway. I've been on 35 minutes, but I'm not doing a full hour today just because I've got stuff to do. What particular thing are you looking at? Like that corner, that corner? Yeah, even CT12 is my favourite gas mask. I also like this gas mask. I like lots of gas masks. Have as many as you need for yourself, British Empire. Otherwise, I'd say just sell them. Unless you particularly want to collect something. Right, on my right. Because my right would be that way. If you mean that, that's French riot armour. Gas masks are technically for gas particle threats, not just gas. Still the little dust style mask one. It's a good dust mask, not a bad dust mask, but what's it called? The Alpha Mesh, just because it's, like very lightweight. People can hear you through it very easily. Yeah, Camper. In the UK, we're not allowed to like bow hunt and stuff like that, but there's no rules against like anything to do with night vision over here. What are you on about that? If you're on about that sign, I don't think it's a particular mask in general, other than a Soviet-style mask, because it's a thing. Unless you're on about that one, that's a US one on that poster. Is that the M3 diaphragm mask? I'm not actually sure, but it's definitely a US one. It was just like a US propaganda poster for like taking care of military equipment. Inserts. What do you mean by inserts, CS10? I've done videos on the outserts. Right. As always, question, will you review this? Will you review that? If one turns up at a good price, I've got the space for it and everything else. For the most part, the answer is probably going to be no at this point, just because, as I said, it's getting to the stage where, I really need to start tidying a lot of this and, getting it presentable, as said, whereas just simply buying more and more masks, where am I going to put them? All right, thank you, Brandon. Or Braden, sorry. eBay. For all the people saying, where did you get this mask, that mask? eBay. There's very few masks I've not gotten from eBay. We don't really have Vegemite over here. I like Marmite, but Vegemite, I think a few shops sell Vegemite, but it's very hard to get. Marmite's all right. But I'm sure I'd like Vegemite, but it's not one of those things many places sell over here because, it's considered like off-brand Marmite, isn't it? I think it might be slightly different stuff to Marmite, though, isn't it, Vegemite? Oh, now you've opened the can of worms of is Marmite and Vegemite good or bad, because everybody has very strong opinions on this. Pretty much all masks weaken over time, but the better made a mask is, the less it's going to weaken over time. Also depends how you store it. Bloke called Jim Jones gave me some Kool-Aid, Cherno Inferno, but I declined it. No, Kool-Aid isn't really a thing over here. I'm sure, again, it's one of those things, some shops might stock it, but it's just literally like a flavouring you add to water, isn't it, Kool-Aid? eBay. I'm getting pretty sick of people saying, where did you get this eBay? Where did you get that eBay? Yeah, but what about that one, eBay? It's like when people go into a pound shop and they go, how much is this? £1. Yeah, but what about that? £1. eBay. Right. I'm getting pretty sick of saying eBay. So is it like slushy stuff? I'm sure I've had loads of different equivalents of Kool-Aid, then it's just not called Kool-Aid over here. Right, the person who is too ignorant to watch my stuff can fuck off, in all honesty, because the video on this comes out on Sunday. I've been talking about this recently, but I'm too stupid to watch your fucking videos. No, I've never really got into Hearts of Iron 4. I liked Hearts of Iron 3. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing Ian explains. It's just, yeah, literally like budget stores. It's not always cheaper, though, because obviously some stuff in pound stores, and I'm sure like the dollar stores, are actually smaller sizes than you get in a supermarket. So you might go, it's like only $1. You're actually buying a very small, like, okay, Toby, if you say so. But anyway, I'll be off in a minute. But as said, I'll take a before and after picture, although I'm sure what you could actually do is just look at what the stream looks like tomorrow, if I do a stream tomorrow, and you'll see suddenly it looks a lot cleaner. Yeah, Etsy's all right. I've bought a few things on Etsy. That's probably the biggest exception to eBay. But yeah, Etsy is sometimes all right for finding old surplus stuff. But yeah, for the most part, 99% of what I get comes from eBay. Now and again, there is stuff on Etsy actually saying that. But yeah, so good shout with Etsy. Cheers, Tanner. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to keep a couple of helmets in the background and a couple of gas masks. Everything else is going to be, tidied away in containers. But yeah, so that's my plan for today, other than watching Weapon Collector when he streams on Twitch a lot later. Obviously, I'm not going to have any of it so bloody early in the day. But what I did get from Lidl the other day, Lidl or Aldi, that was really good, is this. It's basically a Kraken ripoff, but Kraken, whatever you want to call it, but tastes exactly the same, but a lot cheaper. If it focuses. There we go. So yeah, this is good stuff. But as you can see, it was up to there yesterday, and I drank that much, so I wasn't hungover today. But fucking this stuff is 28 units in the entire bottle. So how many units did I have yesterday? Probably 5+, I imagine. That might have been why I was tired yesterday when you were streaming, Mike, because the problem is with rum is when it's really nice rum, I can just drink it neat, no issue. And that's the issue I have with wine, I think, that some alcohol is better in the sense that because it's a bit stronger, you pace yourself better. With me, I'm just like, oh, have a bit more rum, that's sweet and tasty. Cheers, thank you, Braden. Thank you. I won't, but a few people the other day to buy some beer with like donations. So there you go. So generally, I mean, some single malt whiskies, Cherno Inferno, are really nice. The thing is with whiskey, I find is they can really vary in quality. I know rum can as well, but I think the thing is with something like rum is it's quite hard to get a bad rum. I don't like white rum. I only like dark and sort of spiced rums. But the point is with rum is I think it's one of those things where even cheapo brands of it can normally taste all right. Whereas the problem I have with whiskies is there's lots of whiskies that literally taste like paint stripper. But yeah, so that's kind of my opinion on it. That there's certain alcohols I think which you can get all right in a cheapo sense, and others you can't. Right, anyway, I'm going to end the stream now. Thanks everybody that's been sensible today, because we've had a lot of maybe new people. But there's also been some people saying, why don't you do videos on this when I clearly do videos on certain things. Yeah, I've had some quite smooth, refined vodkas, Peach, but I don't know if that seems almost sacrilegious to me, because you think vodka should be one of those cheap, horrible things. But anyway, I will be off, and then I will make sure I do a before and after photo, because I think you'll be quite amazed with how much better it's going to look in a day or two when I stream again, and all of this is tidy. So, right, see ya. Goodbye, everybody.